You're listening to Fever 104 FM, the Pop of Bollywood. My name's Darius Sinawala. It's time for our weekend special show called The Dawns of Bangalore.
The Dawn of Radio.
Every Sunday evening from now to 8 o'clock, we shift focus away from Bollywood and music and we talk about issues that we really need to talk and discuss about. And with elections around the corner, you've tuned in to Slam Bang, the middle of my election special. Our guest today is Mr. Prakash Raj. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
It's great to have you with us. A multilingual actor, director, producer, TV presenter, stage, street performer. So many things to talk about. But we'll start with the why. After this successful career in the film industry, why are you jumping into politics now?
I think it's an organic growth. Actor is not just an actor. It's not just a profession. It's a way of life. It sensitizes you. It makes you responsible. And I thought back, he's just asking questions and answer. Will you step down to the streets? Because politics is not dirty. People have made it dirty. And when I contemplated, we didn't want kings, but we have political parties that are in the form of kings. And you need to uphold the democracy. And if you are empowered, and if you have a voice, and if you have nothing much to lose, I think you'll have to get down and give back to the society, take responsibility. This is my responsibility at this point of time, that I come back and do what I need to do.
You're saying it's the responsibility you feel to the people and the public that brings you back to politics? Well, that's an interesting question because you have experience in one industry and we don't know what experience you have here. Let's talk about inexperience in politics and how that will affect your campaign strategy up next on Fever 104 FM. Our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore is multiple national award winner, multilingual film actor, director, producer, and now wannabe politician.
The Dawn of Radio.
My name is Darius Sinawala. This is Fever 104 FM, the Dawns of Bangalore special weekend show focusing on the elections. And we're speaking to Mr. Prakash Raj. So just before this, you said that as an actor is a way of life, and that way of life has led you to feel a responsibility to the people, and that's why you've got into politics. But here's the thing. In the film industry, you've had problems as well, but people always come back and work with you because of their faith in your talent and your experience. What experience do you have in politics and how is that affecting your campaign strategy?
Should I first answer the allegation that they come back to me only because of my talent? Because you don't know why there is differences between me and the people in the industry. Film profession is 5% of my life. The 95% is me, the person. It's like who's behind the paints. Everybody can become a painter, but it's in you who make it, that language beautiful. I've had differences because of very strong foot down I do on certain issues. I don't like mediocrity in relationships or in business. And I am my own man. And it's very difficult to go there because they want me to succumb to a system, succumb to a piece which I don't. Which I am a difficult guy because I am the way I am. And only thing which is they come back to me is they know I am talented, they need me. Not that I feel that industry is not there without me. But they need me, they come to the terms and they realize that they have to put up with that. And that is the difference. Now coming to the experience in politics. What is the experience this politics needs today? Is it to bribe voters? Is it to manage booths? Is it to polarize? No, I don't have this experience and I'm against such experiences. What you need is an intention to do good. You should understand what is the problem with this political system. I have a vision, very clear vision about politics. I want to know what is a state subject, what is a national subject. I am against national parties because in the last 70 years they have failed and they have become kings. Until and unless this vast, varied country has representatives from different corners, different languages, different regions, this politics will not happen. The spirit of democracy has no political party. The spirit of democracy is you select a candidate from a constituency who represents the aspirations. They come together and elect a prime minister or something. So we need to go back to the basics that you vote your candidate first.
That's a great question. You vote your candidate who represents your aspirations, your problems and your solutions. So let's talk about that. What are your campaign promises? Up next with Mr. Prakash Raj, independent candidate from Bangalore Central. Up next on Fever 104 FM. My name is Darius Nawala and our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore, part of our election special, is independent candidate from Bangalore Central, Mr. Prakash Raj.
The dawn of radio.
We've all seen Mr. Prakash Raj don many hats. He's won national awards for his performances, also for his role as a producer, multilingual film actor in so many different languages. But now, sir, you've decided to jump into politics. You have a very clear vision and agenda of what you want to do within the political system. But if you do win, what would be the first three issues that you choose to focus on?
The first would be education, second would be health, and third would be water here.
What would you do in these three areas? What changes would you be pushing towards?
In this country, we need equal education. You look at Bangalore, we have 2,000 slums. 510 are notified. What is the plight of government schools here? We pay the tax, we build the schools, and we can't send our children there, and we go to the mafia of private schools? We pay the tax, with our money we build government hospitals. We are not sure if we will come back from there, and we go to private hospitals. What is the vision? Bangalore had so many lakes. 10 years down then, these sort of representatives, MPs here, or over these many years, you keep seeing lakes dying and people dying for water. What is happening in those states? Where is a vision? Where is an intention to do it? What is development? You do development and then you have stunted children to continue it? In 15 years from now? Is this the development we are talking about?
I'm sure this can't possibly be the development that we're talking about. It's the under-delivery of promises of a better kind of development. But what is the development Mr. Prakash Raj is promising us in his campaign manifesto? Let's look at that up next on Fever 104 FM. We know the campaign manifestos of all the different big political parties, but do you know the campaign manifesto of the individual independent candidates?
The dawn of radio.
If you don't, now's your lucky time, because our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore with me, Darius Nawala, is independent candidate, one of two, Mr. Prakash Raj, multilingual film actor. We've seen him in all the movies, whether you watch Bollywood or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or Telugu, whatever movie you watch, you've definitely seen him. And you were talking about underdevelopment that's been happening in our city, and you're standing from Bangalore Central, so obviously that's what your focus is going to be, sir. And you said that there are no solutions, or they haven't given us good solutions. What are your solutions to the big problems you mentioned? Education, health and water.
It is not the underdevelopment. The development has no vision. There is no self-respect for an individual, to the human being, to the citizen of the state. See, until and unless you don't focus on standard of life, there is no point in investing on standard of living. That is a major difference here. So you need to look at the next generation kids. You need to empower and ensure hygiene here. You need to empower and put 33,000 crores to that tune. You want to build a bridge. You can't provide basic drinking water to people.
Let me just go back, sir, and just clarify. So you are anti the elevated corridor that is crisscrossing the city, or planned to, and for what reasons?
Next 10 years it will take to get built. Who's going to suffer the traffic jam? What about the dust? You will remove the green cover. You will make it into a grey city. Will you not invest on more public transport? Will you not get that suburban rail? Will you not do that?
That's a good question. I love the fact, sir, that you're saying, will you not do that? Because you're putting the pressure actually back on the people, not the elected representatives. And for me, that's a personal axe to grind, to remind everyone that it is your duty and responsibility to go out and vote. We've got elections coming up just around the corner. You need to vote, and you need to vote making an educated choice. That's what this show is about, making an educated choice. We're in conversation with independent candidate from Bangalore Central, Mr. Prakash Raj. More questions coming up next. I keep talking to our guest today about his political agenda, about his campaign party and his promises, but so many listeners want me to talk about your film career.
The dawn of radio.
incredibly famous across the country. He's worked in multiple languages. Our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore is Mr. Prakash Raj, a national award winner, film actor, director, producer, TV presenter, stage performer, street performer. I know you've got more than 3,000 street performances under your belt and now standing for elections. And we will come back and talk about your election promises, your campaign promises. But the fans won't let me go any further without asking you about your films. So I present to you a very loaded question, sir. Of all the film industries you've worked in, which one did you enjoy working in the most?
I had a language called acting. I had a profession. But Tamil gave me a space where I could reinvent myself, unlearn myself with films like Iruvar, film like Kanchivaram, which I hold very close to my heart. But the truth is, all this perception, all this understanding came from my theatre and literature of Karnataka. It made me realize the value of literature, value of being sensitized by literature. That led me to learn the language and go into that literature. But to give that ISI market, give me another direction of enjoying my own profession, finding meaning into my profession, started from Tamil Nadu, and the credit goes to Balachandra and Maniratnam. Because they believed that I could do it and they pushed me into it. And to get into that, I had to unlearn and learn again. And that process started from Tamil. And if you're asking me a very personal and a very true question from my heart, that is where it is.
Unlearning and reinventing yourself is always an extremely moving moment in anyone's life, and that's what you're doing again with politics. And you mentioned, the beginning of your career and your love for literature, especially Kannada literature. I know and saw you in Nagamandala and loved it. Let's talk about Kannada film industry and literature up next on Fever 104 FM. Even though I promised you 2 hours about politics, I can't help but sidestep into Kannada literature.
The Dawn of Radio.
That's because our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore is Mr. Prakash Raj, well versed in Kannada literature, made famous in Karnataka, has worked in the film industries of Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Bollywood. We've seen him in so many things. So it's great to have you on the show with us. I'm also excited to see how you're going to perform in the elections coming up around the corner. You're an independent candidate from Bangalore Central. I wish you all the best for your campaign. And we will come back talking about your campaign. But since you mentioned your passion and how Kannada writers inspired you at the beginning of your career, can you tell us 3 writers that you think every single person living in Bangalore should read, whether in the original or in the translation?
I think you should read Purnachandra Tejasvi. Tejasvi, who had scientific temper in his writing. Tejasvi, who saw forest differently. Tejasvi, who saw human beings. He had a political leaning. He was very sure about what politics of the country he was talking about. Politics of animals, politics of nature, politics of human beings, their thought, their mind. I think he's one of the most exhilarating writer I've ever come across. I think you should read Lankesh. A Lankesh who came through that protest period in Karnataka and who had written wonderful poems, stories, but then again his articles as an editor. It was not just a reporter he was a conscience. He had a whip and he said, Prakash, we need to be an eternal opposition party as a journalist. If your friend becomes the ruling party, then you have to become his opposition party and you need to be a whip. You just can't side with anything. And I think he lived like that till the end. And then we have many writers, the third writers, I think you should read Kuvempu, you should read D.R. Nagaraj, you should read Kiram Nagaraj, the way sort of Vimarshagalu they used to do. You should read poems of K.S. Narasimha, of Adiga, of Bendre, which is so beautiful. And what is this? They're not just songs or stories, They are pregnant with a thought process of that period of time. They're pregnant with a vision. They're pregnant of their own aspirations and their own worries about where the country is heading towards to. You see real souls who are so genuine. So you should read Devanur Mahadeva.
So I asked you for 3 writers. You've given me about 12 already. I do hope that when and if you do win the election, you over-deliver on the promises just like you over-deliver on your answers. Let's talk about whether you have a real chance of winning. A lot of people believe that that's not even a possible reality. Let's see how you react to that up next on Fever 104 FM. Our guest today is an independent candidate who believes he can win the seat from Bangalore Central.
The dawn of radio.
His name is Mr. Prakash Raj. My name is Taraj Sinawala. This is the weekend special show Dawns of Bangalore, shifting focus away from Bollywood and music on Fever 104 FM and bringing the focus onto issues. We've got elections coming up around the corner, which is why we're speaking to Mr. Prakash Raj. So you're standing as an independent, and we all know how politics works in India. You're standing from Bangalore Central, which means you're going to be up against the heavyweights with big experience, deep pockets. And a lot of people believe that's why you don't have a realistic chance of winning. Why do you believe you have a good chance of winning, sir?
Well, coming to that answer, first I would say, why are we looking at elections as a cricket or a kabaddi match? A politician, it should be a way of life. It is not winning or losing. It is being elected as a representative or not elected. If I'm elected, I will deliver. If I'm not elected, I'll see to it the guy who's elected will deliver. That's because I'm responsible for the people who put faith into me. Secondly, this has become a dhanda, it's become a business. And I'm walking down the street, I'm not like those guys who have party power and who have their booths already set, they have formulas. The last 3 months of walking among the people and trying to tell them how important it is to vote. And the problem is, stop blaming all political parties or leaders. We need to blame ourselves. This is our country. And I see a chord because I have been in touch with people because of my profession, whatever it is, whether on screen or off screen, or with my stance on different issues of this country where I've come out and stood courageously. And I think I have a connect. I believe I have a connect. And I think what I'm saying is nothing new. I'm saying what people wanted to say. And I think that connect I can see in the ground. I'm not overconfident about it. I'm very sure this country is ready for an alternative politics.
That's a good question. Alternative politics. You seem to have a deep-rooted problem with the way politics is run in India right now. This is the third or fourth time it's come up in our interview. Let's talk about that. What are the problems with the political system the way it currently is, according to you? Our guest, Mr. Prakash Raj, independent candidate from Bangalore Central, up next. We've seen him playing a villain, we've seen him playing a hero, but now in real life, he hopes to play a politician.
The dawn of radio.
Our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore with me, Taraj Sinawala on Fever 104 FM, is Mr. Prakash Raj, multiple national award winner for performance. He's a producer, he's a director, producer, stage and street performer, and now hoping to be a politician. He's standing for election as an independent candidate from Bangalore Central. So just before this, we were talking about why you think you'll win, and you said that the people of India are ready for an alternate to the way things are. So my question is, what are the three problems with the way things currently are in terms of the political system in India?
They've made it into a joke that a candidate who's elected because of lacks of vote goes up there and becomes one vote to a political party. The policy decisions we make up there, 130 crore Indians and 500 odd MPs, parliamentarians. We need to know when the decision is made, is it in the interest of the people, is it for the voice of the people, or in the interest of a political party or an ideology? If we don't differentiate between that, if we don't ensure and empower, everything should be representing and for the aspirations of the people, not for this game, not for a party to survive. Not because today if you see all over India, including the national parties, by themselves have no vote bank. They need to be with another. All of them are trying to survive. So it is time for us to continue to be in a denial mode. We need to restructure this. We need individuals who will work with the civil society, who will come and sit with the people and represent the people than getting into power and rule from there. We need to change the language of winning and losing. We need to understand you're elected or you're not elected. You represent. Politicians, life should be a way of life.
You mentioned, sir, politics, the language of winning and losing. And it's good that you mentioned language because I've been introducing you as a multilingual film actor. I want to find out whether fluency in language is an advantage or a disadvantage on your campaign trail. Up next on Fever 104 FM. You're listening to Fever 104 FM, the pop of Bollywood. My name is Daraj Sinawala, and our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore is independent candidate from Bangalore Central, Mr. Prakash Raj.
The Dawn of Radio.
Over the last 1.5 hours, I've been introducing you, sir, as a multiple national award winner, as a film actor, director, producer. You want to be a politician. You're standing for election for the first time, realistically. One thing that we did mention is multilingual. And a lot of people view this as a double-edged sword. The fact that people see you speaking Tamil and Telugu and Hindi and also Kannada, has this been an advantage or a disadvantage to you?
It's a very big advantage to me. What is language? Language is just a sound. It becomes beautiful with what it is pregnant with. The language of pain, the language of people having lost trust, the language of what they want is the same. But if you see Bangalore Central, we have Tamilians, we have Telugu, we have Kannada, we have Hindi, we have all different language people. So when I talk their language of the heart and their issues in their language, in their sound, there is a bigger connect than what others can do it. They feel that he is speaking our problem, he is speaking our issues. And the fluency has made me connect like it has made me connect across the country, pan-India, because of the languages. Because speaking their language is respecting them, is reaching them. I'm not asking them to understand my language, I'm speaking their language.
It's another thing that's been coming up very often, and I'm going to be very careful over here because I don't know how true it is, which is your take on atheism and religion. There have been articles and people saying that you're an atheist. My question is, are you an atheist? And if yes, does that alienate the people from you?
To trust, to believe in God, all you need is just believe. To say if there is no God, you need to be too intelligent, you need to be too learned man, which I am not. Okay? My wife is a Hindu, my mother is a Christian. I am fine with it. As long as they're human, there's love, there is no problem in trying to force one's faith into anything. What is religion? What is a religion? What is God? It is to say to a human being that I am under somebody. It's supposed to make you beautiful. It's supposed to make you not arrogant in your life, and that's its job. And I'm fine with it. If somebody has to pray someone, let them do it if it's going to give them peace. I don't go to temples, but if my mother says, my wife says, my 3-year-old son, I have to do a homa in a temple, I said, come, I'll come. Do you want to do it? And my mother says, on Christmas, at least on my birthday, you have to come to church, I'll go. That's how it is. Is that very important? It is very personal. Religion should be personal.
I can't agree with you more. Religion has to be personal. It's a very diplomatic and careful answer. We've still got time for some more very loaded questions. They're all coming up next on Fever 104 FM. I'm Daraj Sinawala, and our guest today is independent candidate from Bangalore Central, Mr. Prakash Raj. Independent candidate from Bangalore Central, our guest today on the Dawns of Bangalore with me, Daraj Sinawala, is Mr. Prakash Raj.
The Dawn of Radio.
From hero to villain, from Kannada to Tamil to Telugu to Hindi to English, this man has donned many hats, and the latest hat he's trying to wear is that of a politician. We've got elections coming up around the corner, once again reminding everyone to please go out and vote, and when you vote, make an informed choice. We've spoken to the BJP last week, we will be speaking to Congress and JDS in the weeks to follow. Today we're speaking to Mr. Prakash Raj. Sir, give us 3 reasons why the citizens of Bangalore Central should vote for you.
Because I think for the first time you're hearing a politician who says he will represent you in the true sense. That I don't belong to a political party which has a whip on me and which will not let me work. Second thing is, that is the spirit of democracy. It is us together who have to find solutions, who have to think, who have to make this constitution, our money, count. And thirdly, I am not here just to become an MP in this 20 days. I am here, this is my way of life. I have the experience, I understand the issues, and I'm speaking to you the issues, and you will know it once you read my manifesto.
And where can we read your manifesto?
Within a few days we are finalizing the manifesto, because the whole manifesto is the children's manifesto. I have gone to the civil society and taking their manifesto. There has been vehicles going into slums and finding their manifesto. Because we have 8 constituencies. There is Mahadevpura, which is an IT crowd, Rajajinagar is something else, Shantinagar is something else. So probably in another week's time, it will be on prakashraj.com.
In the meantime, we've got one last question for you coming up next. I think it's the most important question of the interview, so please stay tuned. You've been listening to the Dons of Bangalore with me, Darai Sanwala, speaking to independent candidate from Bangalore Central, Mr. Prakash Raj.
The Dawn of Radio.
With elections around the corner, we're having an election special on my show. Last week we spoke to the BJP. We've got Congress and JDS representatives coming up in the weeks to follow. Today, of course, we've been chatting with Mr. Prakash Raj. Over the last 2 hours, sir, you've spoken to us about your vision, your problems with politics, how you promise to make politics your way of life, and that whether you win a seat or you don't win a seat, you will still be representing the voice of the people. It's quite inspiring, and I'm looking forward to an inspiring answer to the last question, which is a standard question we ask all our guests, and that's your message to the entire city.
Please think and vote. Because vote is not just a piece of paper. It is your language. It is your stance. It is your love for your country. It is your responsibility, because you are responsible. It is your money. It is your country. It's your future.
I'm going to add that it's your duty to vote. Elections coming up around the corner. It's not a holiday. It's a duty for you to go out and vote. And I promise you that if I meet you and I know you personally and you don't have ink on your finger, well, be ready for some insults coming your way. And all the best to you, sir. All the best for your campaign. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.